Gabriella, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I can barely hear you though. Can you turn up your mic or your volume a little bit? I'm not sure.
It's just my phone.
Oh,
Does
okay.
it
Maybe just
speak up a little bit more?
raise your voice a little bit for me or bring the phone closer. Is there anything that you disagree with what we just covered with this whole Jonah Hill thing? Like, what do you think of that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he knew who he was dating going into the relationship. So if things like that were going to be an issue for him, he should have never dated her.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, but the way that it should work is when you cross the Rubicon and it's like, hey, let's get into a relationship, like let's be exclusive, like you want to claim each other, then that's when you want to deal with, okay, well, leaning into the future, what kind of lifestyle are we going to have or share or build or life that we're going to build together? And if it's not aligned and she's like, I want to keep doing what I'm doing, and he says, well, I want to have a family, those are two totally different paths. And absolutely, he should find somebody that's a better fit, not try to fit a square peg in a round hole. So I think that he did make a mistake. I think the whole misogynist and finger pointing on him is a little bit offside. I mean, what I know of him, I don't think that's it. So that's a fair comment. You're in a situationship. It sounds like here from the comments that you were just on the whatever podcast and there was a talk about that. Can you fill me in?
Yeah, so I was just on the Whatever podcast. I talked a lot about my current relationship situationship. So I was with my ex-boyfriend for the last 3 years. I'm 28. He's 33. He lives with his mom. He's a lawyer. He's financially stable. He just prefers to stay over there, and
Just his mom, not mom and dad. It's just mom.
it's just his mom. He has a stepdad that just came back recently from
Mhm.
Russia. But for the past like year and a half, like 2 years, it's been just him and her at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you guys still seeing each other, or like what exactly is like, okay, I have an idea what a situationship is, but I think everybody's interpretation or definition of it is going to vary. Can you explain what the situationship looks like today?
So I broke up with him in January. I dated a few other people. He dated a few other people. We ended up getting back together, and then I broke up with him again in June.
Why did you guys break up in January and then again in June?
Um, he, I went on a trip in December, and he just wasn't the greatest boyfriend. I went to go visit like one of my best friends in Florida over Christmas time. Extended my trip like through the holiday, and he doesn't really celebrate Christmas.
Mhm.
And he basically like ignored me the entire time that I was there. Hung up on me on Christmas. Left me at LAX. Like didn't pick me up. I had to take a $200 Uber to go home.
Mhm.
I was just really mad. So I ended up leaving him in January. And then we ended up getting back together. And then the main reason that I got back together with him was because he was going to make a compromise that he was going to come over to my apartment more.
Mhm.
Um, but he hasn't made the compromise. So he wants me to always go over to his mom's house. And his mom doesn't like me. I don't really like his mom. So, yeah.
So let me just go back to the trip down to Florida. So you live in LA, so you flew to Florida to visit a friend. Friend was a
Yeah.
guy or a girl?
A girl.
And like a longtime friend that you've known?
So she was from Florida originally, and she lived in LA. And then
Uh-huh.
during COVID time, she went back to Florida. We
Yeah.
were like best friends when she was in LA.
Okay. Did you guys have the talk by that point? Like, hey, where do we stand? We gonna be exclusive? Are we boyfriend girlfriend, or were you just sort of dating at that
We
time
had
still?
been together for 2 years already.
Okay, so for 2 years. All right. So that kicked off that, and then the second time that you guys broke up is because he wasn't coming over to your place.
He hasn't really come over to my apartment at all for like the last 3 years, and I just like came to a realization that that's kind of weird, and was kind of putting my foot down, like, hey, you need to come over here more. And he said that he would do that if I got back together with him, and he just never did. And he was just saying like, I'm a lawyer, I don't have time for it. I'm like, I'm a tech recruiter, I don't have time to always go to your mom's. Like,
Why does he live with his mommy?
um, I think they've always been really close, and like they live in a large house, and he doesn't want her to be alone.
Okay. It's his house or is it her house?
It's her house.
So he lives in her house. Does he have
Yeah.
any other siblings?
He has one other brother who lives in one of his mom's other houses,
And
but
the
not here.
stepdad lives there too, or he doesn't live there?
He just moved back in.
Just
The
moved back.
mom is like a little bit crazy, so the stepdad left. But he
A
came
little
back.
bit crazy. So stepdad left, and you don't get along with mom.
Yeah.
That's kind of an awkward scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like, why would you? Okay. I mean, I'm trying to picture this. I'm 33. I live with my mom in a big house. How big is the house?
It's like 5 bedrooms, like
Is it
really
like
large
big enough where
backyard.
it's like he's got his West Wing and you can do whatever you
No,
want in the West Wing and nobody can hear anything and it's just
no.
like your own area of the house? Okay, so it's all together. Okay, so I'm
He
33 and
has.
I'm
He's
living with
on the
my
second
mom.
floor. He's on
Yeah.
the second floor, and his mom is on the first floor. So
Okay,
he has
so
the entire upstairs to himself.
okay, so I'm 33. I'm living with my mom and I work as a lawyer. Lawyers' jobs suck at 33 because you're working long ass hours, right? Like my ex-wife's a lawyer, so I know what that's like. Because you got to climb, the ranks, and put in your time. So that sucks. So he's got a point with the whole travel thing. How far away do you live from him?
15 minutes.
That's not far. I would.
And my apartment is closer to his job than his is.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I
And
would.
he works remotely Friday and Monday, so it doesn't really like he can definitely like stay here if he really wanted to.
No, that sounds weird. I mean, I remember back when I met my girlfriend, she was living with her parents, and she always came over to my house. It was never like come over to my parents' house and hang out with me over
That's
there because
weird.
that would just be weird. Um, it's weird. It's weird. That shit's not normal. I get like, like the lawyer and the long hours and they like to be in control of stuff. Like if you get with a lawyer, you have to understand like their whole day is arguing back and forth with the other side. And their point is they always do their best to get the best possible final draft that serves them and their client so they can have that win, right? So that's that's something you're always going to deal with when you deal with a lawyer. I tell guys all the time, don't date lawyers, right? Like don't get involved with women that are lawyers because they're going to run your life unless you like that. Like unless you like your life run and being with somebody like that bossy. Most guys at my level don't. So I just discourage it. I say don't do it. It's not going to be a great experience. So you're dealing with that, which is why he's so firm about not coming over. Something doesn't go his way, he hangs up, he doesn't pick you up at the airport, lets you take the Uber home. That's what you're going to deal with a guy that's in that profession, right? And he's showing you these cards, right? What's your long-term goal? Like, what are you looking for? You're looking for a boyfriend, you're looking for family. You said you're 28, right?
Yeah, I'm 28. I mean, ultimately, I do want to get married, have kids. I could see that with him, but it would have to be past the whole, like,
You'd end up
living with his mom.
Yeah, but yeah, I was going to say like you'd end up living in his mom's house with them
I mean, he
and you
told
don't
me
even
that
get along with her.
he said he would move out August of next year.
Yeah, but
There's
actions
another year
express
off.
priorities. I mean, he also said that he was going to come and see you too, right?
Right, exactly. So, I mean, he doesn't have the best track record of like being able to trust him on his promises.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's the same.
It might be best to just move on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same thing with watching behaviors versus words, right? Actions express priorities. If somebody says one thing but they do something else, you have to always believe the behavior, right? Same thing goes for women. Like watch the dude. If he says something but he does something else, watch the behavior, right? Trust the behavior because that's the best indicator of what you're dealing with and what he's going to do going forward in the future. So it doesn't sound like a good fit to me. Like, why are you playing the situationship card still? Like, why are you still seeing this?
I think like I'm really sad without him, and I'm really bad at breakups.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost would rather just stay with him and just not go through it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, if you're willing to enter his frame and do everything that he wants, go to him all the time, live with them, when he wants to settle down and stuff like that, then you're going to have to make those concessions. But I would not want to. I mean, I just can't see in any environment or situation where it would be cool living with my girlfriend and one of her parents.
Well, the thing is, like, when I first started dating him, he was like fresh out of law school. So I just thought it was going to be a phase. Like I thought he was like moving
Doesn't
home,
seem like it.
didn't have a job, whatever it was. He's lived with like his ex-girlfriends in the past. So I thought he would just eventually move out. But yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen. Even his mom would tell me like to my face, like, he's not moving with you.
Is he Italian or Portuguese or something?
He's Russian.
Okay. All right. Well, same thing, living with mom. Is your place uncomfortable? Is it tiny? Is there nowhere to park a car?
It's in the middle of Sherman Oaks, like a nice part of the valley of LA.
And he can park his car somewhere?
Yeah, it's easy. I would give him my parking spot in the lot, like if he wanted it. He just never really. He comes for 1 hour on Wednesday evenings.
Look, I wouldn't do situationships on either side, whether it's guys or gals, right? A situationship sounds to me like it's kind of like in limbo. It's halfway. Time flies, Gabriella. Okay, like time moves really, really fast in life, and before you know it, you're going to be 40, you're going to be 50, you're going to be 60. If you don't deal with like time, in my opinion, it actually feels, and I hate using the word feels, but it actually feels like it moves faster the older you get. Like your 20s moves a lot slower than your 40s. Right.
Fair.
So you have to be aware that situationships are just time eaters. They're time wasters. If your goal is long term with this guy, you see a future, and his thing is he's not, coming to see you, or you have a difficult time with his mom, it ain't going to get better.
I know. I think from like everything that I've read from like the comments from like the whatever podcast, like listening to my friends, like it may just be time to move on.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, though.
Thank
Did you have any other questions?
No, I guess that's it.
All right. You take care.
Thank you.
See ya. Ciao. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.